Hi, everybody. This is Kathy Canfield. I'm really excited to get started and support you guys on this call today. So I just want to give you a little bit of our outline, and we'll get started. So first, I'm just going to share a little bit about my experience, and then I'm going to talk about some strategies that can help decrease negative behavior with your child and also improve your relationship with them. And it is in one action step. And pretty simple. So we'll go into detail about that. And next, I'll let you know about a special program that I'm super passionate about, and it's something I'll talk about at the end. And then I hope to have a little bit of time for question and answers at the end of the call. And I'll just play it by ear and see how time is going. And of course, I'm recording the call, and you guys can hop off, listen to it later, or if you do have time to stick around for questions, I'd love to hear from you. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and one more thing before we jump in. If this is something valuable to you, or if you have someone else in mind, it would be great if you could share about this with a few other people, maybe some other parents or moms or dads you know that are having some struggles with parenting. If you could just let them know about this call, or they could reach out and contact me, that would be great. So some of you may know about me. Over the last 10 years, I've worked with thousands of families as a licensed expressive psychotherapist, practicing a lot of play therapy, also doing some parent coaching, of course, and I've trained a lot of other therapists. I really have worked hard to just become an expert, knowing all things about children and parenting, and had a successful business doing that for over 4 years. And in a lot of ways, my life is a dream. But maybe you know, maybe you don't know, I've had some struggles of myself as becoming a parent, and became a step parent several years ago. It's tough, and no parent is perfect. And I've had times where, you know, I've cried, I was upset, and just things weren't working for me, and didn't know that I would be able to do this parenting thing. Knowing a lot intellectually about what kids need and how to work with kids in that role as a therapist and a parenting coach, but it was really tough at home. So I realized there was a lot more than, of course, just knowing what to do and knowing in my brain what to do, and also what not to do. But did, you know, some of my own work and really enjoy time with my kids now. Of course, it's still a challenge. It can be tiring, but I really have a lot better time with laughing, playing, and can say that overall I am enjoying being a parent. So it's quite a turn for me. So it's really my big passion to share how to get from being an overwhelmed parent to enjoying your kids. I've been there. I've had to walk my own journey. Also have helped hundreds of parents get there as well, and just really feel excited that this is my purpose. So again, I just want to have you guys walk away from this call with strategies on how to help with your child's negative behaviors, and also feeling better about parenting, feeling good about parenting. And I also want to offer to give away my template that I have that parents love to just print out and use and fill in the blank and keep handy on how to correct negative behaviors while also improving relationships with your child. And a basis on not only my own experience as a parent and as someone that consults and coaches with parents, but also reading a lot of parenting books. I can't say I've read all of them, but a lot of them. And you don't have to now. So this is something I hope you can take away with a useful tool, as a useful tool. So I have a lot of parents that do come to me and will ask, how do I get my child to listen and to behave, but still have a positive relationship with them, still have them know that we have a loving relationship together. So that's what I'd like to go into and talk about, because I just feel like that's almost a universal issue that comes up for parents. We don't become parents because we want to have someone that we have to, correct, control, spend time punishing, or trying to get them to behave, essentially, right? We've become parents for these really beautiful reasons. That it's a dream, maybe it's something we wish for a long time, or just always saw ourselves as parents, and and then one way or another, a child comes into your life as a parent, and it's not what maybe we believed it would to be. We're going without sleep, we're overwhelmed. Children are parenting is beautiful work, but the biggest work and the hardest work to do. So maybe there was just a turning point where this is not this just wonderful, everything is rainbows and unicorns dream, but it's overwhelming, it's hard. Or maybe our child started saying no to us, or maybe we had to balance work with parenthood and that became tough, or just feeling disappointed about how this all seemed to have turned out, and this is not why we signed up for this, essentially. And so I really just feel for people that feel overwhelmed or feel like running on empty, trying to do everything and being a good parent. This is almost an impossible thing to do. It pretty much is an impossible thing to do. So I find a lot of parents are torn between, they want their kids to have positive behavior and be a good kid and do well in school, and those things are important for growing up and being a good person. Sure, and we all have our ideals about what we want our child to be. So our kids don't just magically do all of those things. And then I feel like parents, we can be torn about how much do I let them do what they're going to do, and then how much do I need to steer them, correct them, or maybe even have consequences for them. And then how do I do that and still have this deep loving connection with them, and that also they get that I have this deep love for them. So then I see parents vacillating between, a child can just kind of do whatever because the parent can't even connect right then or deal right then because they're so tired or exhausted or overwhelmed. And then that can move between the other side of then being really strict and wanting to make sure the child takes every step correctly, or that we're just frustrated that they haven't been listening to us, so then we're going to be really tough on them. So that's a really hard way to go. And when we picture this being our home, that's our home needs to be a place where we feel good and comfortable and safe. And if that's what it feels like, and it's a tumultuous relationship with our kids and how we're feeling about parenting, then that's really a tough way to go. So, I feel like it's a place we find ourselves. It's definitely not somewhere that we, endeavor to get to feeling overwhelmed or feeling ineffective as a parent. I believe that with the work I've done, that's most often there are 5 prongs is what I'd like to say about it. So the first one is parent self-care, or some of you may have heard the buzzword of work-life balance. A relationship between the parents, and that can apply in any configuration of a family. So that could be people are partnered and living together, or it could mean that people are separated, no longer parenting together. That's going to affect how you show up as a parent. Also, the third part is if all of us have issues with something with our parents. It's just, I think, humanity. So we might have some insecurities around our own things with childhood. Sometimes this shows up as, if we grew up without having much, then our child is given everything if we're able to offer that to them, that they don't ever want something and not get it. Or so we might do the complete other side of what we thought didn't go well in our childhood and as a compensation way. Or we can sometimes see, we don't feel like our child isn't grateful, because we can connect with what it felt like for us growing up, and there's still some pain around it. And then, perceiving that our child is having it better than we had it, but that they don't seem to appreciate that, and that can cause resentment with parents also. So, and these are things we're not necessarily thinking about. We're going through our day-to-day, and they're showing up. So The fourth thing that I often see is an overscheduled family. So that can range from, both parents have demanding jobs, or one parent has a very demanding job even, or the child is in 6 different activities and there's no downtime in the family. So everybody's always going and doing something. The other part is, the fifth part, which I think is really important too, is the child and parent relationship foundation. So that is just, how do you typically relate to your child? How do things usually go? Do you guys have time for fun, time for just doing nothing together? Or is it kind of all about the schedule and what's going on every day on the calendar? So I'd like to take a look at all of these possible concerns during my first session in the Strong-Hearted Parenting program. But I just want to give an overview of those today. And those are things that, you can start looking at for yourself. And often, I get 2 sides. One is parents really wanting to know what they can do to help their child out. And then another side is that a child seems to have some stuff going on and they're showing problems with behaving maybe. And then that's presented to me. And all of these play in together is what I want to say. It isn't just a child has something that's showing up and everything else is balanced. That's maybe 5 to 10% of children that I encounter, that I work with. And the rest is maybe the child does have something going on, but there's also something in one of these 5 parts that isn't balanced, and that we're going to work to balance those things. So I want to go ahead and move to the parts I was talking about, was those strategies. If you guys would like to get that template from me, just send an email to me at Kathy@Counseling of Alexandria, or I also have a link that I will go over at the end of the program that's actually easier than sending me an email. But let's talk a little bit about this template. And again, it's something I can offer to you. So this is based on, when our kids misbehave, they are trying to communicate something. So, children don't even master language on a level to be able to communicate thinking and needs and feeling until around the age of 9. Even really precocious children that seem to be mastering vocabulary early and sound like, people talk about they sound like a little adult when they're talking. Even highly intelligent children are still learning how to connect. It's just developmental, connecting feelings with verbal language. And that's why play is super important, that children can express needs and feelings and thoughts through doing stuff, through play and through art, for example. So that's kind of the first premise we need to think about. So it's really difficult in the moment, but I think stepping back like you're doing right now by being part of this call and saying, okay, so yes, they're trying to communicate something. This doesn't look like it necessarily, and it's a very primitive way of communication. Yes, that's all true. So that makes sense and lines up with brain development. So a crying out, a hit to their sibling, not doing what you asked them to do is a communication beyond whatever they might be yelling or stomping around doing. So, and also I want to say about this template, this is something that we can use as soon as children begin to understand the verbal language. So there's a disconnect in development that children understand language before they're able to verbally express. So you've probably seen this with babies who are around like 12 months or so. You can start to see that they're understanding you, and then they get frustrated because they can't speak yet. And that moves up into, 2 and 3-year-olds, and that is a good portion of their frustration at that age, is that they can't verbally express, but they're understanding you more and more and more. So just kind of think about what that would feel like for you and what that did feel like for you. you probably don't remember, of course, but that would be really frustrating for anybody. But this template that I'm offering is going to be something you can use as soon as a child is about, I'd say about the 12 months age and up, all the way up to adulthood. So there are 3 parts to this. The first is, when you see the communication and behavior, let's say that they are yelling because they want to watch, they want to watch something on TV and it's time to go to school, just for an example. And they're yelling that they're not going to school and that they're mad, or maybe even not that they're just not going to go to school. So the first thing you're going to do is going to acknowledge them and empathize with the child. And this is, of course, best done with the calmest tone possible, but acknowledging that all of us have our moments, so we're not going to be able to do that, but to look at what your child wants or does not want to do. So easy. So just say, I know you want to. So in this example, I know you want to watch cartoons or watch TV. I know you're really excited about that. So you're going to, especially when you first start to practice this, you're going to want to say a lot of things that are very empathetic to this. Oh, I know it's your favorite show. I know you're really happy to want to get to watch this, and it's all you can think about doing right now, and you're really looking forward to it. So that you're going to not just say one thing at first, especially. And you're going to just really understand. And to you, this is going to be maybe tough because getting to school, for this example, is more important than watching whatever the show is. So getting that is really epically important to your child in that moment is part of this also, that there's nothing more important to them in the world right then as maybe watching this show or playing with whatever, and that you're saying it's time to go, but they're not that interested in what your schedule is for them. So really just slowing down and saying, I know you really want to do this. It's super fun to do this, and you love it, and just talking to them about why they want to do that. Next, you're going to inform them of the limit in a calm manner. So it might be something with this example about wanting to watch TV, but it's time to leave. You've done the empathy statement, so then you're going to say, I know you really want to do this, but right now it's time to leave for school. So you're going to be really calm. Right now it's time to go. And you can also, you're going to do that clearly. In this part, you're going to use less words. And it's just very clear, specific, here's what needs to happen. Or what you can't do. If it's a different example and someone is, maybe your kid's hitting their brother or sister, say, one of the things you may not do is hit your brother. And that's going to be done calmly. And then the next part, you can offer alternatives to the behavior. So and this isn't negotiating. That's different. We want to try to limit negotiating with our kids, but we're going to offer alternatives. So in the TV example, but if we leave in the next, 2 minutes, when we get home today, we can watch this show while we have a snack, or whatever is acceptable for you. So I think it's really important to just slow down and even give this topic some time. I think a lot of parents were just going, and we never look at mindfully what are we doing or how's this working, and there's some ways to shift. So thinking in advance, what's okay with you? Is it okay that we watch this show after school today? Or is it more something where, we can go to the park today, or you can even give the child a choice. So in that example, if we leave into the next 2 minutes, we can, go to the park or come and watch this show after school today, if those are options that are okay with you. Another thing, thinking about really young children, is I often give alternatives when it's time to go. We can leave in 1 minute or 2 minutes, so that they're still having a choice. And in the big picture of things, 1 minute, if they choose 2 minutes, that's fine, that we're still leaving in 2 minutes. And, concretely, even that specifically with someone really young, talking about like a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old even, and giving them small choices. So if you can, offer alternatives, and even in the hitting example, to say, one things you may not do is hit your brother, but you can, hit your teddy bear or hit your pillow. That there's just, something, if we're thinking in our really young brain, as a fairly primitive brain, that there's just a need for expression of frustration, and a child often can't say, I'm really frustrated right now, so that it is okay to go and hit your pillow or hit your teddy bear, so that, as long as not the one is going to be getting hurt, that's a much better alternative. So with that, I definitely have the template available, so I'll go ahead and give you the links for those templates, that template now. It is tinyurl.com, and then it's a / Strong Heart newsletter. So that's going to give you access to our every 2 weeks newsletter, which is full of great tips for parents. And just anyone that enjoys kids, or your grandparents, godparents, aunts and uncles. And you can sign up there and get the template. You can also email me at Kathy@counselingofalexandria.com. If you found me through Facebook, you can also send a Facebook message through Counseling of Alexandria's our page, and we'll get back to you about this template for helping. So, I talked about how this can correct behavior, but it actually helps improve your relationship with your child. And it's because you are calm. It is because you are giving a lot of empathy to them. So you're really instilling this idea that I get you, I hear you, I see you, I know what you desire. That right there is going to build your relationship with your child. And the more, it's this idea of filling the bucket, the more that we can do that and have a foundation there, that the better the relationship's going to be, and also the better it's going to be as they get older, and when difficult times come up, when we've already built that foundation, then we can continue to go from there, and it's more solid. It's something that they'll know, my parents get me, my parents hear me, so I can talk to them about this. So that's really important, and also that you're being very, you're really just saying calmly and clearly what you need from them. And that's also just important to know that, I can do something that isn't what my mom or dad wanted me to do, but they still love me. They're not angry with me. They're talking to me about this, and we're going to work something out. Okay. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about what I'm really excited to offer today, is a Strong-Hearted Parenting Program. So what's included in the Strong-Hearted Parenting Program is 4 one-hour sessions of live one-on-one coaching. We can do that in person or with Skype or phone, and we can do this on whatever parenting topic you choose. So I chose 4 sessions. It's ideal for if there's a specific issue to get worked out, or to even just lay the groundwork for improving your relationship with your kids, and getting down the feelings of being stressed and overwhelmed as a parent. You also are going to get 4 templates around common parenting issues. Again, these are printable, could have them in your back pocket, available to you. You also will get a copy of a booklet I offer that I wrote that will help improve your relationship with your kids. Access to our private Facebook group, and that is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. So we'll have a small tribe of our strong-hearted parents getting into this group and offering support to one another. So it's definitely not something I will have 800 people in or 500 people, or I'll cap it around 30 people at the most and have a second part of a group, because I think that's just really important to have kind of small group that we can get together and talk as a community. Also offer free office hours, calls by appointment between those live sessions. And also, we can record the sessions, especially when we use Skype. It's really nice that you can go back later and listen to the sessions again. Parents really find that helpful to do. And also, I want to mention that some of you on this call might know me and know that my role as a therapist, it prevents me from providing therapy if I would call you a friend. But since this is a Strong-Hearted Parenting program, is under a strategic parenting program, and it is not therapy, I'm really excited that I could work with you in this program. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about the next part. If you're interested in the Strong-Hearted Parenting program, you can go to tinyurl.com/strongheartedparent for information and payment options for the parenting program. So I want to tell you a little bit about that right now. So this would be, my typical charge is $700. So today I'd like to offer for people on the call that we can do this program for $549, and we can also do an option of 2 payments with a deposit today of would be $299. So if you would like other options, you can also send me a message or email me. So another part of my offer today that I'm really excited about is that the Mount Vernon Community School, which is where 2 of our kids go to school, they've been working to raise money to rebuild the playground for a couple of years now. Then this has been determined to be outside of the school district's budget, and it's really it's an okay playground, but it's really pretty sad. We'd like to have this for the kids in the community, not only the kids that go to this school, but it's right in the heart of our community, and a lot of the children in the neighborhood play there. So what I am really excited to offer is for anybody that enrolls with this Strong-Hearted Parenting program that's on the call today, I will donate $50 for each person that signs up to this playground project. And I'm just happy saying that right now and excited to have that available. So what I'd like to do now, I would like to let you guys, if you'd like to ask any questions, I'm going to unmute our line. And again, this call is recorded, and I want to extend the offer to, if you're listening to this call later as a recording, that you can still take advantage of the offer that we talked about.
Kathy, what's the URL again? Is it Karen Keener?
Hi, Karen.
You said tinyurl.com / tell me again.
Yes. So there's Strong-Hearted Parent, and that's to enroll in our parent program. And also for the template that I've talked about today is / it's a tinyurl.com / Strongheart Newsletter.
Strongheart Newsletter. Okay, that was the one. Okay, cool. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to also post on Facebook a little bit about this. It's I'm going to figure out, I've recorded the call, so I'm going to figure out how to share that you can review it. About ready to finish up here now, though. So I don't know how much you were able to be on. Did you have any questions right now, or?
No, I was.
No?
I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that I'm working with already that you're talking about.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, and struggling with.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of us can relate to the struggle. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and close up. So be looking for the information again on Facebook, and I'll upload the call somehow too. So.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you for joining, everybody.